Recent research has shown conclusive evidence that memory and mental function decrease with age. While these findings reinforce our most negative conceptions of aging on mental abilities, researchers note that this does not necessarily imply that older adults are unable to function in everyday life. They suggest, however, that in order to maintain adequate levels of functioning, older adults may have to increasingly depend upon the help of memory tools, as well as friends and family. One goal of this study is to examine age differences in memory ability. I am now going to examine your memory ability using a task that has been used extensively by researchers to study aging effects on memory. Younger adults typically do much better than older adults on this task. Cars are by far the most popular form of transportation in the United States. The majority of cars on the road today utilize a four-stroke internal combustion engine to create power. The following presentation will briefly describe the basics of how a four-stroke engine works. At the heart of an internal combustion engine lies the cylinder, which is essentially a hollow tube. We will begin by briefly describing each piece of the cylinder, followed by an explanation of how all the pieces work together. Inside of the cylinder is a piston, which is free to move down or up. At the top of the cylinder, there are two valves. The first is the fuel valve. When the fuel valve is open, fuel is able to flow into the cylinder. The next piece of the cylinder is the spark plug. When the fuel is prepared, the spark plug emits a spark, igniting the fuel. The final piece of the cylinder is the exhaust valve. Once the fuel has been burnt, the exhaust valve opens. This allows the exhaust to be pushed out of the cylinder. The cylinder creates energy using a repeating pattern of four strokes. In the first stroke, known as the intake stroke, the fuel valve opens. The piston moves down, reducing the air pressure within the cylinder. Atmospheric pressure from outside forces a mixture of fuel and air into the cylinder. In the second stroke, known as a compression stroke, both the fuel valve and exhaust valve are closed. The piston moves up, compressing the mixture of fuel and air so that it burns more efficiently. In the third stroke, the spark plug emits a spark. This ignites the fuel, which expands as it burns, forcing the piston back down. This stroke is known as the power stroke because it creates the power which spins the wheels of the car, as well as the power to move the piston through the other three strokes. In the fourth stroke, the exhaust valve opens. The piston moves up, pushing the exhaust out of the cylinder. The process then repeats.